Hello, Lakesy students, Marsh here. So today we're going to look at equations of circles. What you're going to want to have on you, those little graph squares I gave you in class, so you can graph your circles, and your notes, and then you're going to want a writing utensil and a pencil. Who knew? Very first thing, the standard form of a circle. What's the equation of a circle, basically? The equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And h and k are both the center of the circle in question. And r, of course, is the radius of the circle. Remember, the radius is the center to the point on the end of a circle, okay? Or half of the diameter also. Think of it that way. First example here. Write an equation of a circle with a center of 0, 0 and a radius of 5. So, my center is my h and my k, and my r is my radius, which is 5. So, I have my problem here. So, I got h, or x, minus my h. My h is 0. Now, you're probably going to say, well, how do you know which one's h and which one's k? H is always going to be with your x version of, or x part of your ordered pair, and then the k will always be with the y version of your ordered pair. Okay? And then my r is 5, so that could be 5 squared. There we go. So my equation, x minus 0, you'll agree that's just x, right? So I'll get x squared plus y squared equals 25, because 5 squared is 25, right? Now, how are you going to graph this circle? So first of all, I'm going to put my center here, right here, okay, and my radius is 5. To graph this circle, I'm going to go out 5 in every direction, top, left, bottom, and right. So out 5, put a dot, out 5, put a dot, out 5, put a dot, out 5, put a dot. And now I'm going to try to draw a really wonderful circle connecting all of my outside dots. Sometimes I do a very good job of this. Sometimes, ooh, this actually might be a pretty good circle. There we go. That's a pretty awesome circle, if I might say so myself. So my circle then has a center of 0, 0 and a radius of 5 in every direction. Now, let's look at one that doesn't have a center of 0, 0. What if I have a center of 3, negative 2, and I also have a radius of 4? So, let's kind of not even think of our equation all the way. So, it's going to be minus x, minus my 3, and plus 2. So, it's going to be opposite when you look at the equation. So, I'm going to have x minus 3 squared plus 4 plus 2 squared equals 4 squared, right? This can't be simplified at all, so I'm just going to leave that. But I can make this 16 over here. Okay, so let's graph. So I got 3, negative 2. That's my center of my circle. So I'm going to put a nice dot right there. And my radius is 4. So from this dot, I get to go 4 each way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So, drawing my circle here. Oh, missed that one a little bit, but that's okay. That is my circle with a center of 3, negative 2. My radius is 4. Now, what if I want to just graph it and identify my center and my radius? My center is going to be inside the parentheses, so my x value looks like it's 3, my y value looks like it's 2, so I'd have a center of 3, 2. Put a dot right away at that. And then my radius is whatever that is, square rooted. So I'll get a radius of 3. Now, you can't have a negative radius, right? So it's always going to be a positive. Because normally when we square root, we get a plus or minus. But since this is a radius, it's a distance, it cannot be negative. So let's draw out my radius in each way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Draw around my circle here. And that is the equation, or the graph of my circle, at 3, 2, and my radius is 3. Now, what if you're given a point that lies on the circle and whose center is, let's say, 1, 1. We need to write the standard form of the circle. So if I start kind of writing my equation out here, I know my center, right? I know the 1, 1. So I'll get x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals my radius. Do I know my radius? I don't know the radius, right? We need that. But right now, I have 1, 1, and I have a 3, negative 6. And I'm told that somewhere on this circle, 3, negative 6 lies on it. And if you think about it, right now, if I would find the distance between this to this, that would be the radius, right? Because center to a point on the end of the circle, that is the definition of a radius. How can I find the distance between a dot and the center? There's a distance formula, right? What is the distance formula? So somewhere on your notes, probably highlight it. You're going to want this in case you don't remember it. Distance formula, guys. Distance equals the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. So my points, I got my first point here, second point there. So I can find my distance between these 2 points. I can go 3 minus 1 squared plus negative 6 minus 1 squared. There we go. So what is my distance? AKA, what is my radius? So my radius is 3 minus 1 squared, so that's 2 squared, plus negative 7 squared, which is 4 plus 49, right? Or the square root of 53. So the radius of my circle is the square root of 53, which is approximately, do that on my calculator quick. What is the square root of 53? Calculator spits out it's about approximately 7.28. Now, I need to plug this back into my equation, right? To write my standard form. So I got x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals square root of 53 squared. That's just 53, right? Because it would technically be this. And the squared and the square root cancel out, left with 53. So basically, to create my equation or to create my graph, I'm going to go from each direction of 1, 1, and I'm going to go out 7.28. So right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There. And then we're going to graph our circle here. Little wobbly, but there we go. So that would be the graph of this particular equation. Let's look at one more like this. So I got a point of 4, negative 10, and my center is 0, 0. So I got 0, 0 right here. 4, negative 10 for my dot. So if I start writing my equation, I know it's going to be x minus 0 and y minus 0, right? So I know it's going to be x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Don't know our radius again. Let's find it. So I'm going to use my distance formula. So that's going to be 4 minus 0 squared plus negative 10 minus 0 squared. That's 4 squared plus negative 10 squared, right? Which is 16 plus 100, which is the square root of 116. Which I approximately, what is that approximately here? That's approximately 10.77. This does break down to 2 square roots of 29. However, being the fact, if I would be asking for the radius, the radius is 2 square roots of 29. I probably would be okay with square root of 116 as well. But if it comes out as a nice, let's say square root of 25, break that down, okay? So the equation of my circle, x squared plus y squared equals my radius squared, which would be square root of 116 squared, so just 116, right? And then to graph my circle here, I'm going to go out 10.77, which basically is a graph that goes something like this around the entire graph. Nice big circle. There we go. That would be the graph of x squared plus y squared equals 116. I hope you enjoyed circles, but that's the end of this video. See you later, Sabers.